project that I've been working on, if you haven't seen my previous videos, is a triptych of seed pod sculptures, and that were inspired by the Svalbard seed bank in Norway. And to be honest with you, I talked to a lot of people about this idea before I had even started it. And I think that looking back over the course of this project, that is probably something that I wouldn't do moving forward, because there was something around telling people about my idea that gave me the instant gratification of, someone's piqued interest in my work, and it made me kind of lose steam a bit when it actually came to doing the work, because it was like I'd already got that feeling of like, oh, that's a nice idea, and I'll definitely work on that. So I think the next time around I wouldn't do that. I think I would make sure that the project was well underway before telling people about it effectively. Yeah, this brings me to one of the most interesting parts of finishing a piece of artwork. Is going into the project, it was incredibly novel to me, and I found that to be very, very exciting and motivating. And then, historically being the kind of artist who would start something, get a bit of the way in, and then abandon the project. So this finishing concept it's new to me. And the thing that really struck me about this whole process was that it's actually quite boring. After you've had the initial flush of the idea and starting the project and it being exciting, that does fall away. At least it fell away for me, and that was a surprise, and it was something that I really had to work through, because I think that I can be so led by my feelings that, if something gets boring, then it feels like maybe it's wrong. But in the case of making artwork for myself, it's absolutely not wrong. It's just part of the process. So that was something that I really, really had to work through. There were parts of the process where, I think, I've definitely spoken about this before, but I had to stop. I had to correct mistakes that had happened. I had to, in some cases, start all over again. And I think that that was a really powerful lesson, was to just kind of really doggedly keep working towards the final piece. I did gain a sense that I am the kind of person who will see something through to the end, which, and that move of the dial just a little bit further in the direction of competence and confidence, it has been a real delight, to be quite frank. And I'm going to keep finishing artwork in order to gain more and more of that feeling. And so I think that was the hidden gem in this process. I think it's really important to focus on what we've done well when we've made our artwork, or in anything in life, is to keep a record of what you're doing well in order to gain that feeling of harbouring ourselves, and to be feeling a sense of accomplishment and self-respect. finding myself now in a position where I've got a concept behind the pieces that I'm making, it makes so much more sense to me. It was like everything just clicked into place. And so I'm really loving that. I think that went incredibly well. And so now I've got my kind of eyes and ears open for concepts that are kind of broad and big enough for me to want to make pieces around those, but also that the form has to be beautiful as well, because I want to honour the beauty in nature, as well as giving us as cerebral humans something to consider while looking at the pieces as well. I think I could probably work harder, which is a bit of a faux pas to lots of people. They would say that this is probably a toxic way of looking at things, but there were some days where I literally did maybe 15 minutes of work, and I think that moving forward I can aim for at least an hour, because I have to be really careful that I'm not burning out at the same time, because I've got my day job, I've got a relationship, I've got friendships and a social life, and I want to exercise and I want to rest, and there's great things to watch on TV, which I love. So that is like a balancing act between recognizing that I could work harder and not working so hard that it becomes a toxic thing, because I just don't want that to be my life. I do want to live my life as well as make artwork, so it's something that, with a pinch of salt, I think that I could do a bit more. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the piece that I've finally finished, which is a piece that was inspired by the Svalbard seed banks. Countries around the world are invited to put their seeds in the seed vault as a way of it's essentially insurance. So it's against famine, against war, against monoculture, against natural disasters. So the thing about the seed bank is that it is, to me, a symbol of peace, where countries are working together in the acknowledgement that we need to survive, and we need to survive together. And I've thought, what a beautiful idea that we're so reliant on these tiny, tiny little things, these tiny, tiny seeds, that we've overridden our differences in order to make sure that we are all fed. And I think at the end of the day, that's what really matters, is this collaboration with each other, and to just kind of let bygones be bygones, and to store these seeds together to make sure that we're okay as a human community. So that the title of the piece is Accession, and inside the seed bank, the seeds are kept in categories which are called accessions, but the word accession also means accession to the throne. So in this context, the seed is elevated to a higher status, and zooming in on the importance of those seeds for our own life and for our planet's survival. So I wanted to make a piece about it to help us remember that we rely on each other, and that we need to work together, and to, and it's a symbol of love. I'm really, really happy to have finished it, and I'm really glad that it's out there. And it has meant a lot to me. It's given me a lot to think about in terms of, collaboration and what's happening in the world. So yeah, so that's it.